Thank you for everyone for your attendance for today's class. It's always my pleasure to be here for CEP Live. So first I'd like to invite you to get comfortable, to make sure that you have your loosest clothes on, your pants. If you have pants with a belt, please take your belt off. Take your shoes off. Tai Chi is always about balance. So the best way to acknowledge balance is in your bare feet, you know. So make yourself comfortable. You need space, just 4 feet around you, okay? So today we're going to initiate our flow into fall. And the first step in our flow into fall is to slow down in the rhythm of the season. Then to embrace the joys of being around family and friends as the holiday seasons near us. And finally, to focus on the months that are ahead of us. The slow, natural movements of the Tai Chi form completely align with nature, the effortlessness of nature. So we want to remind ourselves that, based on the Taoist philosophy, that everything is a reflection of the macrocosm and the microcosm. The macrocosm being nature and the universe, microcosm, which is reflected in the lives and the minds of men. So we want to, Tai Chi promotes a very non-forceful, very effortless approach to life. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and begin our session. Standing comfortably, we want to shift the weight, and I'm going to move back a little so you can see my feet a little bit better. Shift the weight so that we can circle our lowest gate or joint. So as we circle the joint, first in one direction and then in the other, we want to make sure that we are supporting the movement with the breath, simply by allowing the breath to come and go as it needs. So we're breathing, we're moving, being soft inside and loose outside. We're going to transfer the weight, and whatever we do to one side of the body, of course, we do to the other. Now, as you circle the angle, notice how, in order to do that in a way with no effort, you have to relax the toes, the foot, the ankle, the knee, the hip, the spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. In order to relax one area of the body, we've got to relax all adjacent areas. So we're breathing, we're focusing on the area of the body that we're manipulating. Wherever the mind goes, the energy goes. So we want to just focus, again, not using force, but bringing our attention to that area of the body. Hands on the knees. We want to push into the earth, reminding ourselves that all of our movements begin at the soles of the feet, using the momentum like a skater to push into the earth to create movement. So we're going to circle, relaxing the hip socket, the lower back, the glutes, breathing, never moving any faster than you can breathe comfortably or feel balanced. Our third pillar of Tai Chi, which is balance. As we move, we're always aware and always seeking balance, not to overextend, not to underextend, but to arrive at the middle way, that point at which any further, there would be no balance. So we're fully allowing the tendons, ligaments, muscles internally to expand and contract as if we were connected by rubber bands. We're going to transfer the weight and hanging, knees soft, feet open. We're going to hang like the rag doll, chin on the chest, and we're going to push into the earth and focusing on the tip of the coccyx. We're going to, as we push up gradually, we're going to stack each of the vertebrae, one on top of the other, staying focused, staying connected, mind and body, all the way up to the crown of the head. Hands on hips, feet are spaced, shoulder width apart. And again, we're going to start our movement by pushing into the earth, relaxing the middle circle or the waist, shifting the weight, relaxing the waist, allowing the upper torso to circle. Now as we do that, again, we're using our inner focus to allow whatever area of the body that needs to yield. So we're breathing, focusing, and feeling for balance. And again, circling to center. We're going to take that deep cleansing breath, breathing into the soles of the feet, letting the body expand like the balloon. And as we exhale, we're going to go the opposite direction. Shifting, relaxing. And this time, as we circle to center, again, we're going to hang, knees soft, feet open, and push into the earth, arms loose to the fingertips to stack the vertebrae. All right, one of the principles of Tai Chi is empty to full. Empty to full. Shifting the weight, sinking into the earth, breathing as we move, empty to full. As we cross our center of gravity, notice how it's only natural that gravity invites us to sink down. And again, using our internal focus, we release inner thigh, hips, calves. And this time as we shift, we're going to incorporate the upper body, loose to the fingertips, lifting the heel, letting the spine turn naturally. Again, not using force, just letting the shoulder drop. Looser and looser. Relaxing the hip, the glutes. Always noticing if you're holding tension in any particular area of the body. Looser and looser. And gradually, we're going to come back to center. And take a few seconds, Palms on the dantian, knees soft, feet open. Let the tip of the coccyx tuck forward as if you're sitting on a high stool. As we sit, we're suspended by a cord from above. And just take a few seconds to notice how chi presents to you. A warmth, a tingling, or maybe the feeling of being a little bit more alive. And this is where we want to allow the mind to rest as we go through our movements. And arms float down. We're going to space the feet just a little bit more. And as we shift the weight, sinking down, extending up, palm to heaven, palm to earth, letting the spine turn. We're going to push heaven, push earth. Pushing into the full, we're going to come back to center, breathing in. Sinking down, extending up, rib cage opening, hips yielding. Let the pelvic bones fold like the book. Don't try to hold the weight of the torso up on the hip. Sinking down, extending up. Push heaven, push earth. And again, we say push, but we're just simply extending. Again, to the point where any further we'd be using force. So using our inner focus, our inner presence, we're feeling our way through each movement. And finally, pushing into the earth, arms float up, fingertips to heaven, feet forward, arms float down, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, relaxing the jaw, and hanging this time from the shoulders. We're going to push into the earth, and we're going to allow the head to roll like a marble in the slot. Ear only as far as ear to shoulder. Now don't cheat your movement. Make that full half circle, arms hanging as if you couldn't pick them up, head hanging as if you couldn't pick your head up. Letting the weight of both assist with the extension. Transfer the weight, relax the waist. Always breathing, letting the breath support the movement. More and more you'll see how natural it is to breathe in as we expand, to breathe out as we contract. But right now, just make sure you're breathing. And let's go ahead and circle to center, taking your time, never rushing. Push into the earth, and as we do, arms float up, and we're going to embrace the energy from above, bringing it down to flow over the body, over the crown, over the torso, down the legs, and filling up our shoes. So standing comfortably, feet open, knees soft, tip of the coccyx tucked, loose to the fingertips. Just allow this energy that always surrounds us to support you as you breathe. Okay, and floating down, we're going to shift our weight and pivot on the heel. Shifting towards the toe, looking out, we're going to feel for balance. Back foot follows to root forward. Now as we roll from heel to toe, arms float up. Wrist cross, we make loose fist, and we begin rowing the boat. Pushing down, sitting back, sinking down, torso turning, spine turning, pushing into the full, arms are circling. Rowing the boat in the middle of the lake. Now again, we go slow so that we can feel and allow for that full extension, bending and stretching, showing the athleticism of the form. Not through force, not through speed, simply through our inner focus that allows us to yield. Always feeling for balance so as not to overextend, not underextend. And our feet are open. As we shift, we're massaging the soles of the feet. Noticing it's the inside that yields. And this time, as we shift forward, arms float up to float down, momentum pulling us forward, feel for balance, to root and roll. Other side, whatever leg is forward, that's the arm on top. Breathing. Harmony between internal and external. And this time, from wherever you are, let's go ahead. And as we shift forward, let's let the arms float up to float down, momentum bringing us forward. Feel for balance to step up, to float down. And take a few seconds and just monitor your body to see if you're holding tension in any particular area. We all have the tendency to hold tension somewhere in our body. Some of us are jaw clampers, shoulder hunchers, stomach clenchers, leg lockers, whatever your wherever you might tend to hold tension. The first step in changing it is to become aware of it. So let's continue. One last moving exercise. We always do our warm-up in preparation to whatever Qigong form that we're going to do for the day. So we're going to transfer the weight to step out, and as we shift the weight, arm floats up, torso turns, we transfer the weight. As one arm descends, the other ascends at the same rate. Transfer fully to root, to roll. Open the hand, we sit back, naturally sinking down, find our balance, foot follows, we root out, elbow down, shoulders relaxed. Breathing. We root forward, and as we shift, torso turns into our punch. Continue at your own pace, feeling for balance, breathing, and focusing. Yielding as you sink. Transfer weight, focusing on your body. Breathing. And we're going to step back and float down. Okay, so today let's focus on a form that we're familiar with, the Tai Chi Qigong form. 9 postures that each, like all of the Tai Chi and Qigong forms, incorporate posture, transition, moving to another posture, showing the continuity, the engagement of the body and the energy. So standing comfortably, feet 2 inches apart, tongue resting, arms loose, knees soft, tip of the coccyx tucked, and again, we're suspended by that cord from above that allows us to relax comfortably, to sink comfortably into the legs, feet are open. So take that deep cleansing breath, breathing into the dantian, that area 1.5 inches below the navel. Let the body expand. And as we exhale, we're sinking into the legs to make sure that we find balance, to transfer the weight, to separate the feet. And gently rocking forward, arms float up to float in, elbows down, loose to the fingertips, arms float down. But we don't stop, we show the continuity. Palms float up, we open up the chest, relaxing upper back, palms float in, knees soften, arms float down. We're going to shift our weight, transferring weight. Arm floats up, looking out over the fingertips, dancing with the rainbow. Now arms are balancing each other, extended. As we transfer the weight, we lift the heel, feeling that energy through the ankle, the leg, the hip, heel down, and we're going to roll the ball back to the center of the neck. And pushing down, arms float up, wrist cross, knees soften, arms float down, reeling arms. We move into reeling arms, pushing down, arms float up, we're all still loose to the fingertips, moving as if moving through water. Pushing down for momentum, arms float forward, to float in, to float down, and as they approach the sides of the body, again we push, and this time we're going to relax the spine to look up at the heavens. Pushing down, as we do, arms float up, always feeling for balance, fingertips to heaven, and leaning from the waist, we move into looking through between the palms, paddling in the middle of the lake. Always breathing. Arms float down, the torso floats up simultaneously. Palms face to float up, and as we shift the weight, and just mirror me, We look forward over the palm, both palms up towards the heavens as we move into curved back. As the torso turns, palms pass. One arm circles down, the other extends forward, relaxing the shoulders, opening up the chest. Now, as always, we push into the full. Make sure your elbows are down, your shoulders are relaxed. We move into wave hands like clouds. Pushing into the full, never rushing. And this time, as we transfer the weight, we're going to transfer the weight fully. Arm floats down. On our free leg, we're going to root to the heel and roll to the toe. And as we do that, back foot turns on an angle. Arms float up, pigeon flying. Push down. Lower your center of gravity. There's much more balance the closer you are to the earth. Now this time, as momentum comes forward, arms float down, feeling for balance. We're going to root forward on the other heel and roll to the toe. Always breathing. Pigeon flying, other side. Push into the full. Momentum forward. Arms float down. We're going to step up to step out. And arms float up. Pigeon, wild goose flying. Think of the wild goose, the large, beautiful wings. And as the arms float down, palms float up, our knees are still soft, we're sitting on the high stool. And as the arms float down, legs extend. And we're going to shift the weight. Arms float up, assisting with balance. We step in to float down. All right, and just take a few seconds standing comfortably. See where you're at now. Every time we exhale, it's the opportunity to release excess tension, that tension that we tend to hold, even when we're not aware of it. So take the opportunity to just breathe in and out a few times. As a matter of fact, let's do some wave breathing. Standing comfortably, feet spaced, hands on the dantian, tongue resting. And as the wave goes out, we breathe in. Breathe in. The energy expands. We exhale as the wave comes in. So just play with that a little bit. Pushing down. Breathing deep. Exhaling fully. We never want to exhale fully. Breathing in to the base of the abdomen. Whole body expanding and fully exhaling. And arms float down. And feet come together. So for our next Qigong form, let's do the 6 animal frolic. And you may say, well, we repeat these forms. Every time you do a Tai Chi or a Qigong form, it's never the same. You might be in a different space, you might be in a different environment, whatever it means. The most important aspect of what we're doing is the quieting of the mind, allowing the mind, the monkey mind, which tends to flit from one thing to the other. As we train our body, we train our mind so that the mind can stay engaged with one thing over a period of time. So whether you know 5 forms or just one short form, it's not how much you know, it's how you do what you know. All right? Because we want to truly benefit from our study. So standing comfortably. Arms are loose, knees are soft, feet are open or suspended like the Christmas tree ornament. Tongue is resting. We're going to take the deep cleansing breath again into the soles of the feet. Let the body expand. And exhaling, find your balance. Transfer your weight to separate. We always root to the inside of the heel, roll flat. It's all about balance. So pushing into the earth, gently rocking forward, again moving as if we're moving through water, arms float up, to float in, loose to the fingertips as the knees soften, arms float down. And pushing again into the earth, hands rise up, we're pushing and we begin to transfer the weight and relax the waist as the deer looks around the forest 360 degrees. Now drop that shoulder and we push into the full. Again, like the rubber band, coming back in the opposite direction. The torque brings us around. All we have to do is to be soft inside, loose outside, and to be patient. Let each movement complete itself. We're kind of just along for the ride. Arms float down, to float up, to float forward and bending at the wrist. We become the tiger, bringing the energy to the tips of the fingers. We're going to stretch out. And as we breathe, we're gradually going to release the tension from hips, glutes, legs. The tiger stalks its prey. Now relax the hands, push into the earth, and this time the torso is again hanging from the waist as we push up, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other, allowing the arms to float up. We become the crane as it soars through the heavens. Loose to the fingertips, knees soften, arms circle out, to circle down, to circle forward. And tucking the tip of the coccyx forward as if tucking a tail between your legs. Reach out and offer fruit. The monkey offers fruit. Push in to the full. Hands back towards the chest to separate. Elbows down, palms to heaven. Sinking down, extending up at the same time. Feet are open. Our first point of balance as we breathe. The bear guards the cave. Arms float down. And as they approach the side of the body, we push into the earth, palms turn out. Legs are straight on this. And looking out, leading with the chest, we become the phoenix, a bird with a long tail that points towards the heavens as it drinks from the river. And push into the earth, creating momentum. And as this tail floats down simultaneously, the torso floats up at the same rate, always feeling for balance. Knees soften, arms float up, to float in, to turn down. Arms float down, legs extend, but don't drop the energy. We just let it expand as we shift the weight, transferring the weight to step in, arms and legs together, to float down. And standing comfortably, feet open, knees soft, tip of the coccyx tucked, tongue resting, suspended, let's just cultivate this energy. As we mentioned earlier, wherever the mind goes, the energy goes. So just our focus on the feeling. However chi is moving for you, moving like the river through the body, or perhaps like smoke, as if the inside of the body were hollow, like a chimney. Just connect with whatever feeling and enjoy your cultivation. And arms float down. So, to conclude our session today, whenever we do our movements in Tai Chi and Qigong, we bring the energy to the surface of the body. Once we've completed our session, we want to make sure that we seal that energy in the body, all right? So we're going to use the lotus blossom movement to seal the energy. So we're going to space the feet, standing comfortably, hands on the dantian, knees soft, feet open, crown to heaven. And we're going to allow that energy, using our internal focus, to move up through the core of the body, through the chest, through the neck, through the shoulders, down through the arms, through the hands, wrist connecting, and the lotus blossom floats up, over the head, down the back of the head, hands touching the neck, the front of the arms, underneath the arms, palms flat to the upper back, and allow the energy to course down through the middle, lower back, over the glutes, down the back of the legs, back of the heel, around the foot, please touch the foot, back to the front of the legs, and to move up the front of the legs. Hands back on the dantian. And we're going to start with a small circle. As we breathe, we're going to allow that small circle to gradually expand. Using our internal focus, notice where the mind is, bring it back to the feeling and the movement. And once that large circle has fully expanded, we're going to take the breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to allow that large circle to gradually contract. Always breathing, stomach soft. Again, monitor your body to notice when you go back to old habits of holding tension. We should feel the body moving, expanding like the babies sleep on its back. And when we find the palms back to where we began, we're going to let them rest on the dantian, always standing comfortably. Release that tension from the lower back. Tuck the coccyx, knees are soft, feet are open, and we're going to feed that energy into the body's energy vault. Just focusing on that area. And the arms float down to float up. And we're going to bring the energy to the palms. We're going to push down, palms to the earth. Let the arms circle up, knees soften, palms to the heavens, and just take a few seconds and breathe, feeling the torso expanding and contracting. And then we're going to transfer the weight, shift the weight, arms circle down. And as always, I salute you for being here today, for participating in our class, and I hope you feel 1,000,000 times better than you did when we began.